This is Amr from Chai Vision. I'm here with Ali Safari. I've chatted to you a few times now, Ali, and what I wanted to do with this interview was get like a proper understanding of who you are and get people to see you the way I see you. I've known you for a while. I know you quite well.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that this kind of gives a reflection of who you are. That's why I want to do this interview. So I'm going to start with just how are you in general?
Well, first of all, it's good to see you again, Amma. Yeah, I mean, good to do this with you. Thank you for taking the time, obviously, to come to hear me out, to want to know more about me and anything to do with me. I really appreciate that. To your question about who I am,
yeah,
or how am I?
Both.
I'm all right. We're good, you know. Can't complain. Every day above ground is a good day. So yeah, not too bad, man. Just cracking on with life, cracking on with training. So yeah, no complaints there. Regarding to who I am, who am I?
I got questions for that. So I got questions for that. So the first question that I kind of want to start with, right? Mm-hmm. A lot's changed recently over the last few months, even in the last year. What's been the biggest shift that you felt on a personal level?
There's so many things where on top of my head, there was personal changes, there was professional changes in regards to like professional stuff with my own personal work, my own personal businesses, with my own training, with a lot of things around me, around my life, where when I look back, there was a lot of things that was holding me back or delaying me or completely actually stopping me from reaching to the position that I felt I needed to be in all areas.
So what's changed in you to how you look at your situation that's now and solve that problem, that makes sense, and put you in a better place so you're more aware of what you're doing?
Right. So a lot of the challenges that I had in the last year, I embraced a lot of those struggles, a lot of those issues, a lot of those setbacks, whatever you want to call it. There were things that I embraced, the things that changed the most, and what a lot of things was built around to bring me where I am now, which is a good place, is Safari Combat Academy. That was one of the things that was, there was a difficult period, a difficult transition. However, it was done successfully with the grace of God. The team that we had created continued, it expanded. We found a new home, and our home. It took a little bit of time for us to get settled, but once we got settled, it's like everything that needed to be in place just started falling into place. Around the gym, but also around me as well, around my training. I started to work with Lewis Taylor as my coach.
Let's talk about the gym first, because I want to talk about your training as well in a minute. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't want to go because it's a big deal in terms of what you did here. Yeah?
Right. Yeah.
So you pretty much built this from scratch.
Yeah.
Because I remember coming to you when you were like just got the bookings and stuff, right? So you built this from scratch. Mm-hmm. When you set this place up and we had a conversation there, what was the biggest value that you wanted to add? So what did you want Safari Combat to be? What was like the core ethos of Safari Combat you wanted to create when you built this place?
I was scared, Amma. I was scared of not being able to deliver to the people that were good to me. I was scared because, it's the fear of the unknown. It's something that I've not done before. And I wasn't sure what it's going to be. I wasn't sure how it's going to turn out. And you always have a vision of what you want to do, but when you're actually in the process, you don't. All of a sudden, it's like, how is it going to go? You don't know how it's going to go. So I had a lot of fear, and the biggest fear was not being able to deliver. So the biggest thing for me that I wanted to do is just to continue to deliver, to see my students grow, to see my students to feel at home, to see my students and my people be in a position where they were able to chase what they were chasing, for me to provide what I was providing, but on a bigger scale. You know what I mean, innit? Yeah, and to be able to grow on that, not just to maintain. That was and that was the biggest thing that I feared, was not being able to do that anymore.
Do you think that was the value that you wanted your students to always grow personally? And
that was the foundation of it. That was the foundation of it. And as long as I knew I can secure that, then it was going to lead me to the other stuff that you're asking, was for my students to have a home where they feel safe, to have a community where they feel safe. You know, safe from politics, safe from unprofessional etiquettes or certain type of behaviors, you know, or a lack of certain level of guidance, or lack of certain level of leadership, that were to create this place not a home. You know what I mean? It takes away from what being a home is. You know, when you feel at home, you think that's your place of peace. That's a place of where you feel you belong. And that was the thing, that's ultimately that's what I wanted to be. You know, and being here, like Safari Combat, we managed to expand, not a lot, but expand our help in different areas for our students. Just like we've created a community where people feel a sense of belonging, they feel safe. We do a lot of social stuff. We do social, you know what I mean, like social events and stuff, and you know, as well as that as well, we help each other. If, for example, if someone needs something, where we need a career help, it's you know, something of personal circumstances, whatever it is something that they, you know what I mean, that this community can provide. And that was the bigger thing. Just I want for people to feel safe, for people to belong, and something for people to feed off, you know what I mean?
So no matter what you do, you always bring like positive vibes. Like, I've experienced this as well. Whenever I see you at shows, just generally anywhere, you always bring positive vibes. Does this chapter allow you to express more of that vibe and that your positivity?
Absolutely. I only know how to be one way, and that's myself, you know? And if positivity is something that, you know, that I spread, something that, you know, like people see and feed from, then of course. So wherever I am, that, you know, whatever that I carry or whatever I'm on is going to be spread, and that's going to be for people to feed from, you know, whether it's the knowledge I have as a Thai boxer, whether it's the wisdom I have through life, or whether it's the natural positivity that I have, you know, that people might think I am, you know, that's all part of it. You know, it's part of a package.
Has it been easy doing that here? Because you always have the pressure of owning the place as well, organizing everything. Do you feel you balance that well?
You know, the days are hard, the evenings are long, you know, sleepless, tired, exhausted. But the beautiful thing is, the moment that I come through the door and I see my students and it's time to train, it all disappears. It all disappears, and it's business now. And business is Muay Thai. We're here to train, you know what I mean? And so it's been such a massive help for me as well, where my students have helped me, is to go through this, you know, whatever struggling times that they were, because I'm feeding from their positivity as well. So it was a give and take. Do you know where I'm coming from?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
When you have like a tough day, just work or hair or general, how do you keep yourself positive?
Just staying focused on the task in hand, Amar. You know, I don't believe in motivation. You know what I mean, innit? Yeah. I believe in the discipline of focusing to do what needs to be done, regardless whether I'm tired, whether I'm not tired, whether I'm motivated, I'm not motivated, whatever it is, what needs to be done, this needs to be done. And I find it's hard to get to it, but there's a certain level of peace that you find when you find yourself occupied, when you're in the middle of doing the thing that needs to be done. You're like, like I'm doing it. And there's a moment of self-gratification. You're like, like I feel, you know what I mean? I feel good I'm doing this, you know what I mean? Yeah. And that's basically what it is. Just focus on what needs to be done, no matter what.
Do you think you balance that well in terms of, let's say, keeping that mentality here, but also keeping that mentality at home as well and in your personal life?
Yeah, 100%, absolutely. Like I said, I only know how to be one way, and that's myself. So with that, with me being myself, wherever I am myself. So it's not like I come and I'm putting a mask on, and then now I'm at home, I'm taking that mask off. No, it's like who's who I am. Here is who I am. You know what I mean? At home. Do you know where I'm coming from?
Yeah.
Where some people may feel the need of like putting a mask on to be a happy person here, and then when they leave here, I'll take the mask off, and it's just like, no, like I believe I'm quite an organic person. So if I'm in a positive mood, I'm a positive. That's who I am. You know what I mean? It's not a mask. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
So you turned your passion into a business.
Mm-hmm.
That's not easy. Mm-hmm. How do you balance putting your coach hat on and being a businessman? Because there is a business element here as well that you have to make sure you're paying for everything.
Yeah. I have other businesses that I was doing besides Thai boxing. For me to be able to have this passion and be able to be in a position where I've turned this passion into business is so rewarding, and it's so happy in so many shapes and forms, because this is not my first business, but the other business that I have, I've seen the lowest of the lows with my business. I've seen some highs, and it's nothing like this. Nothing compares to it. Like a bad day for me, doing this is like if it's like heaven. You know what I mean? Isn't it? Yeah. Getting to come, see my people. You know what I mean? And be able to train them, be able to exchange so many good conversations and some good vibes, and we feed from each other and be part of this community where we have a great time and we get to train and do what we love. Now, I can't even call that a business. I feel like it's you know what I mean, innit? Like it's cheating to call it a business, because it's just great. You know what I mean?
How do you make sure you're not getting pulled in different parts? Like, for example, I know what you're like. You're a very giving person. Your time and the way that you connect with people, you're a very giving person. How do you prevent yourself being pulled from, let's say, looking after people, balancing your personal life and then the business and everything? How do you control yourself and keep yourself on point so you're doing all the things that you want to do the way you want to do them?
Do you know what? To be honest with you, Amar, that's a very good question, and I don't know how I'm doing it. If I'm real with you, with all the stuff that I do, like in one day of my life, or just a week of my life, with so many things I've got to do, so many things that needs to be taken care of, so many people that rely on me, so many things that needs my attention. It's a situation where I don't know. I honestly, I thank God, because I think it's through God that I'm able to do this. You know what I mean? It's nothing to do. I don't think it's anything to do with me. I just feel like I'm on a mission, Emma. I feel like I'm on a mission. I'm here to do what I'm supposed to do, and I just try to move forward. So whatever, I take it a step at a time, and I just try to move. I don't stall. I don't stay in the same spot to think, I've got to do this, and allow myself to get overwhelmed. I say, all right, well, I do this, then I'll do that, then I'll do that, and I take a step at a time. And before I know, sometimes I'm like, how the hell did I do that? How have I been juggling all these things? Do you know where I'm coming from? So I don't know. I owe it to all God.
You say that. You say you don't know, but you just given the perfect example of how you do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You do sometimes the hardest bit is actually realizing things that you do naturally.
Yeah.
That you sometimes don't realize, how you just prioritize what needs to be done now. You get it done and you move, and then you prioritize what needs to be done next, get it done and you move.
Yeah.
And you get shit done, right?
That's the method, I guess. Yeah.
What do you think about growth in terms of new students, programs, expanding their knowledge and their growth and their opportunities, and also expanding what your plan is with Safari Combat?
Growth means... So go on.
Yeah, I'm more on the wider scale as well. So we talked about growth in terms of individual fighting stuff. I'm talking about more growth as in, like, you've got students now you're a teacher. How are you planning the growth of your students? How are you planning the growth of this business? Like we were talking about how you have maths and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. How are you controlling that? And what's your vision for what's coming with the brand?
So as a whole, the way I view growth is being able to explore the areas outside of your comfort zone. That's what growth has always been for me. Being able to explore the areas outside my comfort zone, whether that was in business, whether that was in personal life, whether it was in Thai boxing, whether it was in competing, whatever it was, that's to me what always growth was. So as far as my students goes, there's the progress with their actual individual progress. You know what I mean, innit? Yeah. That comes down to me as a coach to be able to feed them from that mindset. And it comes to me as a coach, as my physical ability, you know what I mean, to be able to push them in the area that I want to push them. And it comes to me, again, as a coach, with the connection that I have, the relationship I have with them, to be able to have gained their trust, so they will enable me to be able to do the things that needs to be done. And that's literally taking them outside their comfort zone, because it's a difficult area to be in. It's not easy to go outside your comfort zone. You know what I mean, innit? The safest place for you to be is within your comfort zone. But that safe space is the place that stops you from growing in any area of life. Do you know where I'm coming from? You know what I mean, yeah? So with that being said, that's my way of thinking towards my students. As far as the growth with the business is like every student I have is a seed that's been planted. Do you know where I'm coming from, innit? Yeah. And then you know when you plant a seed and then when you put the soil in, you know what I mean? Yeah. It's small, and once it grows, it starts to outgrow the pot. You know what I mean, innit? Yeah. I have the same vision for that. So the more I can attend to my students and attend their needs, the more I can give them as a coach, as a friend, as someone in their lives. You know what I mean? Yeah. I'm planting these seeds, right? And only shape and form that this business will be able to grow in the way that I want it to be is to make sure it's done through the gym itself, through the students itself, where we're able to outgrow the pot that we're in right now. Do you know where I'm coming from? Okay. That was my mindset before, and that's my mindset now. So that's why every student that comes through the door that gives me their time, I want to give them more. I want to get them. I want to, beyond their money's worth, I want to give them the time's worth and more.
What have you learned about leadership since being responsible for all of this?
Leadership is something that comes natural. You either are or you're not. But there are leadership qualities where leadership qualities and traits that you pick up, that you learn, that you can practice. You know what I mean? Yeah. Someone who is a natural leader can fail as a leader because they're not respecting the etiquettes and the traits and the qualities a good leader needs to have, you know what I mean? And someone who's not a natural leader can become a great leader if they're able to understand and learn the traits and the qualities a good leader needs to have, you know what I mean? And it is a give and take situation, right? So for me, one of the things I always learn, you know what I mean, from one of my first original coach that I ever worked with that introduced me to Thai boxing, Arjan Vinny. He always told me that you got to have a beginner's mindset. You know what I mean? Yeah. So one of the things that is going to make you grow as a person, it's going to make you grow as a fighter. And the same things I always used in everything else as well. I used it as far, in my business and all areas of my life, is to have a beginner's mindset. So for me as a coach, you know what I mean, innit? Yeah. And as a leader, I have a beginner's mindset. So the stuff that already works, the stuff that I already know, I apply those things to be a good leader, you know, and the stuff that I know that can make me better, I'm not stubborn in my ways where I'm prideful. This is my way, the highway. If there's things that I learned that I need to reflect on and to be able to adapt and grow, that's standard procedure for me. You know what I mean? Yeah. But at the same time as well, being a leader is difficult because one of the things that I feel with a lot of people around this day and age is difficult, that people it's difficult for them to be is fully themselves. Okay. And I think for me, one of the qualities I feel like I've been gifted with is I can fully be myself, you know, and it has good and it has its bad, because there might be me being myself might have some bad things that, you know, is repelling, you know what I mean? But then there also be a lot of good qualities on me as a leader, you know what I mean, that is a drawing factor, and people, you know what I mean, yeah, people connect with, you know, I'm coming from. But it's something you have to embrace and something that you have to reflect and understand.
So in previous conversations we've had, this is when you've been having fight camps and stuff like that. You've always said your opponent is not your friend. You want to focus on beating them. But as soon as the bell's gone, it's all over, your friends. I want to know what the thinking behind that mindset is, and how's that keep you focused when you're fighting?
Look, people view Muay Thai and Thai boxing as a sport. People view it, some people may even view it as a form of art form and view it as many things. To me, it's war. That's how I was taught. Like where I started this, that's how I was taught. For me, it's warfare. Do you know where I'm coming from? You know what I mean, innit? Yeah. So like, if I'm scheduled to fight somebody, like, we're not friends. You know what I mean? Yeah. You're trying to get me out of there. You're trying to, you know, remove me from my consciousness. You want to remove me from all my accolades. You want to remove me from anything that makes me who I am in that ring. And I'm trying to do the same. So we need to honor those rules. And those are the rules of combat. So that's what I understand. Afterwards, after it's done, then that's a different story, because now you've earned my respect and I've earned yours. You know, we've just been in there, we've just had a fist fight, like two men, two gladiators, you know what I mean, innit, yeah? And you know, of course there's respect there, and I thank you for giving me the chance to share the ring with that person, where we were able to challenge ourselves and be able to do what we want to do. You know, I'm coming from, innit? Yeah, we need each other. You know what I mean? Yeah, but that is a respect, a mutual respect. We have from the start to the end, but is after the fact where we can express that.
So the question I have now is just a follow-up from how your mentality in terms of how you fight. How do you teach your fighters to channel the aggression and then without losing that respect? It's one thing for you to have it, it's different to teach it. How do you do that?
Do you know what? It's not even aggression. I feel like aggression I feel like it's not aggression, you know? It's understanding what you're signing up for. You know what I mean? Yeah, you're signing up to fight. So, you know, with you fighting, it requires a certain mindset and a certain character and a certain intention in order to apply what you need to apply to come out victorious, right? So it literally comes down to is explaining that and being able to dissect every detail, you know what I mean, to explain to them what that is, right? And through practice of how we spar, through the conversations I have with them, and through displaying by example of when they see me how I am, the mindset that that I'm in when I'm doing my thing, through training caps that they've seen and my performances, they're able to see how that works. You know, I'm trying to say to you. So it's not nothing personal. It's at the end of the day, what we're doing is we're in a business. You know, they understand the business, and with certain business that you do, there's rules and regulations and etiquettes. So with this is the fighting business. You know, so we fight, and it's just about explaining to them, because if you don't explain to them, that's the part where some people may feel, oh, I got to be aggressive, or there is no emotions. You got to be cold-hearted. You got to be laser focused and understand what it is what it is that you're doing. You know what I'm saying, innit? Yeah. If you're a swimmer, you can't be afraid to get wet. You got to know what you get. I mean, you can't be like, oh, I got to get angry before I get in the water. What do you mean? You know you're going to go first. You know what I mean, innit? And it's the same thing. So there's no need for aggression. You know, it's understanding everything that needs to be understood about the fight itself, about Muay Thai itself, and about warfare. And that's once you understand that, you're able to do what needs to be done.
How do you teach that though? So one thing to have that mentality is a different thing to teach it. How do you teach it? You got students there, right? How do you teach them that?
One of the methods that I try to do with my students to get the best out of them is by training with them. Okay. I spar them, like the boys know, like I spar everyone, like, you know, like when it's time for spar, I spar them, you know? And I have built these guys, and I've built their mindsets through fire and through pressure. You know what I mean? Yeah, because when I'm sparring them a certain way. I'm challenging them. I'm pushing them to the brink of quitting without hurting them. Yeah, it's not like I'm rocking their heads, I'm knocking them out, but I'm able to spar them a certain way. I'm able to hit them a certain way and be able to get them to a certain place where let's see what you're made of. You know what I mean, innit? Yeah. And when you're able to take a student to that place, right? That is the place where you've connected to them. And once I've connected to them, that's the part where I can teach them. That's the part I can feed them the stuff that needs to be. Because these things are not things where, okay, let's sit here and let me explain the theory of it. I talk, you listen, you learn. There's some things that are like that, but then there's some ways where, you know, it can only be taught a certain way. So with that mentality, with that mindset, and if you watch my guys spar, if you see my guys perform, yeah, I've had world-class athletes come in, world-class fighters that train. They're like, it's mad. Everyone that I spar from your gym, it's like they're like, you know what I mean? They're so similar like you know what I mean? They got the same like mindset as you. And I said, yeah, because that's what it is because like I've created them in a certain way and I've fed them a certain thing. And to me, that's the foundation that I've given them, not just for Thai boxing, Amar. It's because beyond Thai boxing, it's the foundation I've given him, I've tried to give him for life. To deal with things and deal with all areas in life, not just through Thai boxing. Thai boxing is a small part of our lives. You know what I mean? Isn't it? Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. The real opponents is not through the people that you meet in the ring. The people that you meet in the ring, you beat Thai boxing, they're some of the loveliest people in the world. Yeah. The real opponents out there, you know what I mean? Is the people that you're gonna come across that come greet you with a smile on their face. They're gonna come to you in the form of I'm your friend. Oh, I'm your colleague. Oh, I'm going to be your partner. I'm going to be your boyfriend, your girlfriend. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like the people that you trust the most and come to you, they're the people to watch out for. And if you're, as you know, as a human being, if you're not, you know, like you're not strong in the areas you need to be strong, you become a victim. So that's where my end goal is. Not just Thai boxing. It's to feed them what they need to be fed in order to create a foundation, not just there, but in life.
Excellent. Has there been a moment where you had a fighter or a student that's at a low point and you've helped them find their belief again?
Definitely. Like, you know, it's one of the ones where I just had a little moment there because I'm replaying some things and I can see my students and conversations we've had and it's just like, yeah, without going into too much details, absolutely, man. You know what I mean? That's why like you can come and tell me just like, oh, like I've got a job for you that's gonna pay you £1 million a day. I will never leave this. Until I, you know, God has his plan, you know? Until I'm here to serve my purpose and he thinks I'm done, I will never trade this and leave this because it goes way beyond what the eyes can see. Do you know what I'm saying, innit? You know, it's a heart thing, you know, I'm coming from.
So I can appreciate you can't share maybe one of the lowest points, I can get that. But how did it make you feel when you've turned that person around, when you've seen them at the lowest, and now by getting them to believe in themselves, they're now in a much better place? How does that make you feel as a person?
Petrified.
Petrified?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Petrified, scared, because scared of two things. Scared of one, me thinking I'm in a position where I can look at it and be like, look what I done. I did this and let it get to my head. I think it's me because it's not me. Like I said, everything to me is all God. So I'm coming from, innit, yeah? So I'm petrified of being a human being and being a man and a falling victim to my pride and ego thinking there was something that I done, because it's not. You know what I mean, innit, yeah? I'm scared of that and I'm scared and petrified of the 0.1% chance of it ever existing, where there's a possibility where I may have misguided that individual. Do you know where I'm coming from? You know what I mean, yeah? But that's just my own deeper thoughts that I have, you know what I mean, yeah? So when things like that happen, those are the two things that the initial feeling I have, I'm petrified, I'm scared. I'm scared of ever being in a position where I start to think to myself, oh, you did this, you know what I mean? And let it get to my head,
yeah.
You know what I mean, yeah? And for me to think I'm something special when I'm not. And the other thing is literally the 0.1% chance where I may have, you know, somehow, somewhere misguided this individual, may lead to them making a mistake or something. So, like, you know, like there's a cliche saying, great power comes great responsibility. And that's the responsibility that I take through self-reflecting, of thinking of all areas outside the box, the good, the great, and the bad and the ugly.
If you've got someone, like a bit of pushback from me, if you've got someone, a student of yours, that's going through a really difficult time, you know they're going through a difficult time, I've sat down with you and said, Ali, this is what's going on in my life, and you've given them the time and the effort, and you've got them to a point where, I'm not talking about the whole life has changed, but they're in a much better position. Why does that not make you feel happy with yourself? And I know you're trying to humble yourself because that's who you are, right?
Yeah.
But surely you must feel some kind of joy, or like, you know what, this is why I set Safari Combat up, to be that team, to be that support network for the people. So I'm actually achieving those values that you talked about right at the start, right? Do you not feel you achieved something there? And I'm not talking about, I know you're not ego-minded.
Yeah.
I know you well enough to know you're more worried about containing your own humbleness. But I kind of want to know how that makes you feel. Like, surely you must see that you're actually putting value back into people's lives, right?
You know what it does? For me, it cements the thought and idea that I had, where everything happens for a reason, and the Safari Combat Academy was somewhere that was meant to be. It was meant to be here, and I was meant to be here, and the people that I came across were meant to be here, and it just gives me a warm feeling inside, like this is part of the plan, because it allows me to look back and reflect on all the hard times I was telling you about. Where I look back and it's just like, you know what? Like, it was all worth it. It was all towards something. That's the place that I'm from. Like, yeah, it's like, it was all meant to happen.
Yeah.
So I'm coming from. That's the way I feel it, yeah.
How do you balance being a coach and a friend to your students?
That's difficult. That's difficult because I've got some students of mine that challenge me. Some of them are here right now as well, you know what I mean? Yeah, they challenge me. And listen, once you understand what love is, you know what I mean, yeah, you're able to recognize what love is. Do you know what I mean? And once you understand what it takes to be a human, and once you understand making mistakes is a normal thing, you know what I mean, yeah, you're able to separate. So I'm a coach, I'm a friend, and you're able to see, you know what I mean, see the middle point, you know what I'm trying to say, and learn from me as I go along as well. Because it is difficult, because like I said, like, I am a coach and I need to be, but also I'm a friend as well. You know what I mean? I'm a friend, I'm a big brother sometimes, you know what I mean, innit, yeah? And sometimes they probably hate me. Do you know where I'm coming from, yeah? So but it's all part of it, you know? It's all part of it, and understand it's all out of love. That's what I said. When you understand what love is, you can handle it, you know?
I feel like you put your fight career slightly on hold while all this stuff was going on, all the change was going on. When you fought not so long ago, hasn't been ages ago, but it feels like you had to get all this stuff sorted out first. What's pulled you back? Because I know there's potentially a fight in the new year. What's kind of pulled you back and given you that buzz to want to do it again?
You know, I'm not like, in myself, as a warrior that I believe I am, as a fighter that I believe I am. Being a fighter doesn't mean you're a fighter. I was a fighter way before I started Muay Thai. Do you know where I'm coming from, innit? Yeah, I was a warrior way before I started Muay Thai, way before I entered the ring. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So that never stops. You know what I mean? Yeah. As far as me being a fighter in profession and competing, you know, as form of a fighter in business, now that was put on hold. As far as me being a fighter, no, I train with my guys all the time. I train every single day. I've never taken a day off, like literally. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that's that. But as far as fighting as a profession, that had to be on pause, because when I started fighting, You think about fighting as a form of honorable thing, and you're a soldier and you're a warrior, you go and fight and, you know, and all of that. And you realize the more you get into it, it's a small part of it, you know? The bigger part of it, the bigger part of it is that competing Muay Thai is prize fighting. And you understand prize fighting is a business, it's a form of business. You know, I'm coming from, yeah? And you realize everyone else around that is a part of the business. So I found myself in the business I was in as a professional fighter. My surroundings and the way I was not protecting my business in myself as a fighter the best way that I was. So I had to take the time off in order to change some things. So the next time I'm able to go and you know, and compete in my profession, I'm able to be in a position where I can be the best that I can be through the things that I have control of, and not be the lesser version of myself because of the surrounding other reasons that is outside of things that have to do with me, if that makes sense.
It doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Is that why you feel now you've got things aligned now?
Yes.
And now you're back?
Yes, I sorted out my Safari Combat Academy. This is somewhere that I train. It's somewhere that I'm going to fight out of. You know, I've got my students, I've got my people. You know what I mean? I'm with Lewis Taylor. I train with Lewis Taylor. I train with my brother Chef Ket, and I train with my guys from Safari Combat. And then you know, I've got a very, very strong foundation around me now. And I've had a lot of things, like I said, in my personal life that, you know, that I had to deal with, you know, that I had to sort out, that I sorted out. And I feel like I'm just in position just to get started again. You know what I mean? Yeah. Get started again. I feel like it's a new chapter, and I'm very excited for it.
So preparing for potentially a fight in the new year, how does it feel different now you've got Safari Combat? Because your leadership style is very much by example.
Yeah.
Does that put a little bit of pressure on preparing for this fight coming?
I won't say it puts a lot of pressure, because I feel like it's something I've always done. With every fight I had, I think the guys could see that I'm trying to lead by example, and you know, they viewed me as the leader as I am for them and whatnot. The only thing that is just the excitement of being in a position of competing under the circumstances that I wasn't before, where now I can be a version of myself that fits the potential that I have, and I can express as a fighter and as a Muay Thai professional athlete. Do you know where I'm coming from? Whereas before, I felt like what they saw, they see me win, they see me lose, you know what I'm trying to say? They see me lose the fights I should have lost, in my opinion, you get me? But it was one of them ones, they see me through the ups and downs, you know what I mean, yeah? But I can honestly self-reflect and look back at myself and be like, that wasn't the best version of myself. But I'm excited now because I think that's what I'm approaching. I think the next time I go back out there, I'm going to be a better version. Maybe not the best version, because you don't know how things are, as unpredictable, but I'll most definitely be a better version of myself than I was the last time people saw me fight.
Do you feel like you've got unfinished business in the ring?
Absolutely. Hell yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like everything that I've done, it doesn't, people ain't seen nothing yet. You know? That's how I feel. I feel like I ain't seen nothing yet. I know. The people around me, they know. The people that train me, the people that train, they know. People know. But I've just not, you know what I mean? My time has not come yet. But my time will come.
So potentially, you're going to be fighting March. Potentially.
Yeah.
Depending on what dates get agreed. Yeah. When that moment comes and you're finally about to make your ring walk, what does that mean to you personally?
It's been so long. Honestly, it feels like it will be a dream come true again. Like a dream, you know, a dream that comes reality again. I fought before, but it feels like I've never fought before. You know what I mean? Yeah, I've made that walk to the ring many times before. But right now, when I think about making the ring walk again, I get the excitement and the butterflies that I haven't ever before. You know what I mean? In it, yeah. And for me, it's just like, fuck yeah, I've climbed the mountain again. And the moment I've done that, I've won already. I'm meaning that regardless of what the outcome of the fight is, I've won. I've made it back again. You know what I'm trying to say to you? You know what I mean? Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry. Back room is free now if you want to.
Yeah. But
I didn't know it's okay if we start.
I didn't have to start training.
Yeah, that's fine. We'll ask some questions.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
Last couple of questions. I know I'm taking your time in that.
No, you're good. You're good. They do the warm up anyway. They can. Okay, Emma. Good numbers, innit?
Yeah, good numbers.
Yeah.
When people talk about Safari combat in 5 years' time, what do you hope they say about it? Like these guys in 5 years' time, when they talk about this in 5 years' time, what do you want them to be saying about it?
I want them to view Safari Combat as their home, the home where they made a lot of friends that became their family, a home where they found strength when they felt weak, a place, a home where they found a sense of belonging when they didn't before, and a place where they find peace and safety that they never felt before. And I hope that my students become, not become what, like me, no, of course I don't mean none of that, but they take a fraction of what I taught them, add their own flavor, and then feed it to the rest of the people that they you know what I mean, innit, that they come across. And because that's what I've done. All the great coaches that I've had, you know, I had a lot of great coaches. Everyone that I work with, I appreciate them, you know what I mean? And I learned so much from them, so much valuable experience, you know what I mean, yeah? And I wouldn't be who I am without the people that I was before me, you know what I mean, innit, yeah? So I took a little bit of them and I added my own flavor, and I hope that they do the same. Do you know what I mean?
So you may have kind of answered this question as well, but I was really interested in knowing, see, like you're a student of whoever taught you over the years. What would you like? Because these guys here would be future teachers and future fighters. What would you like them to pass on, become like your legacy? What would you like them to pass on to the next generation?
I want them to be organic. I want them to be themselves. I want the strongest version of an individual is when the individual is fully themselves. You know, we have, you know, where, and I think, again, going back to that, what the society is, I think that's what people lack. I think people are afraid of being themselves, and they try to find different masks and different, you know what I mean, yeah? Where what I want for my people to be is to learn what they need to learn, grow in the areas that they need to grow, so they can comfortably, fully be themselves and be able to embrace whatever they learn from me, and for that to be part of who they are, and they can spread that wherever they go. That's the way I see it.
What does success look like to you, Ali?
Being favored by God. That's what success is to me. If I'm favored by God, that's when I'm successful. Not anything materialistic. You know what I mean? And God has his way of showing me that I'm favored by him, by putting the good people that he has put in my life.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Yeah, not the money, because money comes and goes and whatnot, blah, 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 not the materialistic things. But the people that I have with me, my students, the people who believe in me, you know what I mean, yeah? The people who trust me and in my ability, you know what I mean, innit, yeah? I name dropped a couple of people, I name dropped Seth Keck, my brother, I name dropped Lewis Taylor as my coach now, you know? These are good people, I view them as good people in my life because them alongside my family, these people that are my family, my students are my family, they're my, you know what I mean, they're my brothers and sisters, you know what I mean, yeah? That's God's way of showing me that I'm favored by it now.
Someone asked, what defines Ali Safari, the man, not the fighter, the coach? What do you want the answer to be?
He's real. I'm real. What you see is what you get. That's it, you know what I mean? Like, Good, bad, whatever, he's real. That's it. Yeah,
That's my questions, Ali.
that's it.
Done.
Yeah.
Thank you for talking to me. Appreciate it.
Thank you for allowing me to be heard.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Thank you, brother.